Greetings from the Genealogical Society of Salem County. As you know, we have been unable to hold programs this past year due to the coronavirus, and we are excited to finally be able to provide virtual programming. My name is Bonny Beth Elwell. I'm the Vice President of the Genealogical Society, and today I will be speaking to you about accessing South Jersey deeds on Family Search. Today we're going to walk through how to access the South Jersey deeds that have been made available on the website familysearch.org. This worksheet here includes information about how to access them. I will walk you through step by step. The first step is to go to www.familysearch.org. This right here is a free genealogical website. You will need to either make an account or sign in to the website if you already have an account, as listed here. The account would be free if you do not have one, so all you would need to do is create a username and password. Once you have created an account, you can go ahead and sign in to the website. You will enter in your username and your password. This website has a number of genealogical resources available in it, and I highly recommend exploring some of the other features, even though today we're just going to concentrate on accessing the deeds. Now the next step that we're going to do is we're going to search, as it states here. At the top of the screen, click Search, then click Catalog on the drop-down menu. So back on Family Search, once this is done loading, you can see at the top of the page it has a search button. We're going to click on Search, and the drop-down menu will include the word Catalog. We're going to click on Catalog. Once this loads, there will be a place on the search bar. As it states here, in the place search bar, type United States, New Jersey, Camden, or in this case, we're going to be doing Salem, to search for Salem County deeds. This is the place search bar. We're going to type in United States, New Jersey, comma, Salem. As you can see, a few options come up as choices. We're going to choose the first one, which is Salem County, instead of the second one, which would be Salem City. And then hit search. On the results page, right here, will be a list of items available for Salem County, New Jersey. I recommend at a future time looking at many of these other resources, which will also be helpful, but today we're going to scroll down until we get to the one that says Land and Property with the number 10 after it, showing that there's a number of resources there. We're going to click on that. As we scroll down, you'll see that there are a number of things having to do with land and property, but today we're particularly interested in the Salem County deed records and indexes circa 1800 to 1923. So we're going to select that one. This will bring up a list of all the digitized books, including indexes. As you scroll down, you can see that there are 91 microfilm reels that have been digitized and put online here. This includes grantor indexes, grantee indexes, and deed books. Now, to begin with, let me explain, if you're not already familiar with deed research, that the grantor, with an OR at the end, is the person selling the property, and a grantee, with two E's at the end, is a person buying a property. So if you were looking for the property that your ancestors sold, you would look in the grantor index. If you're looking for the property your ancestor bought, you would look in the grantee index. Each one of these reels can contain many books. So for instance, if you look down here, you can see that this is listed as deeds A through B. That means it is deed book A and deed book B, all on the same microfilm reel, which has now been digitized and is available online. Please make note that one reel may contain several books. Here you can see that the early deed books from the 1700s are in Book A and Book B, and it continues through the alphabet B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, etc. until we get to double A and AB, AC, and then double D, double E, F, F, G, G, etc. And then they switch to number 1, 2, 3, etc. through the numerical order until we get to deed book 87. After that, they have not been digitized, so they are available in the clerk's office in Salem County. As an example, let's look at deed book F right now. Now, if you recall, since there are more than one book on one reel, F is actually contained on this one that says it's E through G. Now, the way to actually look at this book is to go all the way at the end where it has a little camera icon. This will take you to the actual images. If you see, it says browse the images online if you click on that camera. That's what we're going to do. This is going to show us tiny thumbnails of each page of the book. Let's go back to our instruction sheet for a minute. As you can see here, we clicked on the land property deeds, we clicked on deeds, the certain years that we're looking at, and then we went to a list of all the digitized books, including the indexes. We clicked on the camera icon. As it states, this will bring up tiny thumbnails of each page. You can scroll down or enter an image number at the top of the screen to navigate. Please note that the image numbers do not correspond to actual page numbers in the books. So let's see this in real life. Here's the page, here's the microfilm reel that we opened up. As you can see, these are tiny thumbnails of the book. Now, the thumbnails, although you can't read the writing this far out, you can kind of tell what the pictures are of. There's the introductory information saying what the microfilm is showing. Then we have the binding of the book, and then these pages look like indexes. We're going to click on this first binding book to see what the book is called. This right here, according to the binding of the book, is Deed Book E, Salem County. Notice that I double-clicked to open up this image. If I want to go back, I can click on the thumbnail image again, and that will take me back. Again, if I want to open it, I can double-click on the image, and it'll show it to me closer. Double-clicking on an image makes it larger. Going back to the thumbnail version will show you a bunch of pages at once. Now, if we want to go to the next page, here we are at this page, and we want to go to the next page, we can also use the arrow buttons over here to go to the next page. See how it says next? If we click this, this will take us to the next page of the book. And as you can see, it is the first page of the index. This is under the letter A. This is the index of the book itself. Besides using these arrow buttons to go back and forth, for instance, here's the next page. We have B and C. We also can go back to the thumbnail version and just click on another page. For instance, here is pages D and E. Again, if we go back to the thumbnail version, we could skip ahead to a page much further in the book. We can use the thumbnails to go back. So that's one way we can navigate. To navigate through the thumbnails, we can also click on the screen and holding the mouse, drag it up or down. Again, you can use this perhaps by scrolling by sliding your finger across the screen if you have a touch screen, etc. But that's another way to navigate up and down through the thumbnails. If you want to zoom in and out on a page, so for instance, let's say we opened up one of these pages and we can't quite read it because the writing is so small, we can go over here and zoom in on the words Salem in the state of New Jersey. Or we can zoom out to see the whole page. Again, to return to the thumbnail view, we click on the grid icon right here. Now, often more than one book is digitized in the same batch on the same reel. If you remember, we were going to try to look at book F. Now, right now, we were at book E. Now, book F is going to be partway through this reel. Now, right now we're on page 5, and there are about 800 pages in this whole book. So if we were to go about halfway through the book, we would be about image number 500. Remember, this doesn't have to do with page number, it has to do with image number. So let's try image number 400 by typing in 400 into the box and see what it shows. It takes a minute to load. As you can see, we're much further along, but we're still in the middle of a book. If we were to then scroll up and down, we can see that we are here right around some introductory things. If we were to open this up, we could see exactly what book we're in. This states, it states that we're in volume F. Okay, but since we didn't see the binding pages, we know we're in the middle of F, so let's go a little earlier. We're going backwards a little to see if we can find the beginning of the book. Again, scrolling up. Right now I'm using my mouse scroll, but another thing I could do is click and drag or use a swipe on a touch screen. It takes a while to load each of these images. There's a lot of information stored here. Now here you can tell we're getting near the beginning of the book because you can tell that these are index pages, not pages of text. And here we can see the beginning of the book, the binding of the book. If we double click on that to open it, we can see that we have found the book F. And that's the book we were looking for. Again, if we were to go to the next page, we would see that there is now an index at the front. Now let's say we were looking for the name Joseph Elwell. My last name is Elwell. Joseph Elwell was an ancestor of mine. So let's try looking for his name in this index. Right here, we're at the last name A. And you can see A, B, C, D, E, F. It's going to be a few pages from here. We're so close that we're just going to click the next arrow to see if we can find the index for the letter E. Here you can see there's a B and a C, so we're getting closer. We're going to hit the next button again. And this brings us to pages, surnames D and E. Okay, E would be Elwell. Oh, and sure enough, as you can see from the top here, we have Joseph Elwell listed as one of the sellers of a deed. Right here, it tells us that this deed is on page 64. So now, if we were to find page 64, we could go back to our thumbnail version and guess, let's see, if there's 10 images across one row, so we could guess that that's 20 images, 30 images, and of course each one has 20 pages because there's 2 pages for each image. So that would be about page 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, somewhere around here. Let's see if we're close. And we are on page 45. So we still have a number of pages to go. The other way we can try to find a page number is by doing some math. So as you can see, we're on page actually 44 right here, and we wanted to go to page 64. That's 20 pages away. Now, since there are 2 pages on each image screen, on each spread, that means we need to go only 10 images from here to go 20 pages from here. So if we were to add a 10 to the page that we're at, Right now we're at 300. Let's change that to 310, and that should bring us close to page 64. Let's see how close we were. Okay, let's see, and sure enough, we are exactly on page 64. Now, this doesn't always work out exactly because sometimes there might be a page that's skipped, or there might be pages that were filmed twice, or extra indexes and things like that, as you will see. But right now, we have indeed found page 64, and I'm clicking and dragging the page to take me to the dragging the image to take me to the bottom of the page. And here I can see this is indeed the deed from Joseph Elwell to George Moore. And here it gives all the details, which I can then read. If I wanted to, I can also print this page or download the image to save it on my computer. So that was one way to look in the index of a certain book and find a deed sold by a person that you're looking for. I'm going to take you back to our initial page though right now and walk you through another way to search. Actually, let's go back to our instruction sheet for a minute and review. So as we were going through that, we noticed that you could click on the camera icon to view a book. That brought up the thumbnails of each page. We could scroll down and enter an image number at the top of the screen to navigate. And of course, remember that the image numbers do not correspond to actual page numbers in the books. We can double click on an image to make it larger, use the arrows to turn to pages. We can use the plus and minus signs on the left to zoom in and out. And to scroll down here a little. Guess I can't scroll down here for a little. But anyway, to return to the thumbnail view, you can click on the grid icon. And remember that a book may be digitized, more than one book may be on the same reel. And the second book might begin halfway or the third of the way, depending on how many pages are in that, how many books are in that reel. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to use the index. We're going to use the Salem County Index right now to begin with. I showed you the index for the front of a book, but sometimes not all the books have a built-in index in the front of the book. In fact, some of them just are missing, but there is a master index to all the books, and that's what I'm going to walk you through right now. So back to our family search. If we click this back arrow, it won't take us to the last image we saw. It'll take us back to the table of contents in the first place. We're going to go ahead and exit Book D, exit this reel of film, and go back to our table of contents. Again, this shows us all the books having to do with Salem County deeds that have been digitized here. We're going to now look at the grantor and the grantee indexes and how this will show us which deed book to look in to find a deed. We're going to start with grantor. Right here, we are looking for the last name Elwell. So the first thing to do for Salem County deeds is to open the index for the first letter of the surname you are searching for. So again, here we are. We're going to go to the first letter of the surname. The surname is Elwell, so the first letter would be E. That will be in this book, C through E. Again, we're going to click on the camera icon to open up the book. This time, instead of opening up a deed book, we're opening up an index book. These are organized differently. And each county in South Jersey has a different system. I will walk you through each of those systems. First, we're going to open the binding here so we can see that we're in the right book. This states it is the index to deeds, grantors, C through E. So we're in the right book. E would be contained in this book. We're going to hit the next arrow to see the front of the book. Because, as it states here, at the front of the book will be a page with a chart on it. Open it. Back to family search. Right here is the letter C, but we want the letter E for Elwell. So we're going to go to the next page. That takes us to D. And finally to the next page, which will take us to E. This is our chart that we're going to use. As you can see, at the top of the page is a large letter E. This is the first letter of the surname. Now we're going to use the column of letters on the left. I'm going to zoom in here so that you can read it easier. It'll take a minute for the image to load. Do you see here? This is a letter A, B, C, D. It's a column of letters. I'm going to zoom in even more so you can see A, B, C, D, E, etc. These vertical columns represent the second letter of the surname. Let me repeat that. The vertical columns represent the second letter of the surname. So if the first letter of the surname is E, we're looking for Elwell. The second letter is L, E-L. So we're going to now go in this column and find the letter L. Here's the letter L. The third thing we need to do, now that we're in EL, is find the first letter of the first name in the row of letters at the top of the chart. These right here are the first letters of the first name. So for instance, Benjamin Elwell would be in this column. David Elwell would be this column, but we're looking for Joseph Elwell. Now Joseph Elwell gets a little complicated because as you can see here, there's John, J-O, and J all listed here. The reason it is like this is because there are so many J first names that they have been divided into all the people with the name John, anybody with names that start with J-O, and anybody else. This would be like, for instance, Jack or Jill or another name like that that starts with J but does not have either J-O or John. We're looking for Joseph. Joseph starts with J-O. He would be in this column. He would not be in the John column, and he wouldn't be in the J column because he does have that O after as the second letter of his name. So again, going here, oops. All right, going here in the vertical column, we're going to go E-L as the second letter of the last name, and then the first letter of the first name is J-O. That takes us to this page number, 585. You see that there? 585 is therefore the page that we're going to look for. That's the page in this index. Now, if we go to the next page of this book, we can see, well, okay, another chart that we don't need to worry about right now. It's for corporations. All right, we can see that this is page 1, and we want to get to page 585. Now, that's quite a ways from here. Instead of hitting the next button 500 times, or actually, because there's 2 images on each page, that would be about 250, 290 pages. If we would need to click this 290 times to get to the image number close to page 585, why don't we just add 290 to the image that we're at, and that'll get us close to where we want to go. So 290 plus 10 is 300. Let's go to the 300th image and see if it's anywhere close to page 585. Okay, as you can see, we got close, but we didn't get exactly there. We're at 545. From here, we could click the button, let's see, about 20 more times to get to page 585, or we could just do a little math and think, well, if we want to get to 85 and we're at 45, we still need to go 40 more pages, but since there's half as many pages, half as many images as there are pages, we can just divide that in half. Half of 40 is 20, and we're just gonna, if we're at 300 now, we want to go 20 more pages. That'll take us to 320 image. Click on that, and we'll see that sure enough, there's page 585. It's a quicker way to go than using the arrows or going to the thumbnails, but you can use whichever format you want. Now here we're on page 585 of the index, and we can see that sure enough, Joseph Elwell is listed. This is what the page of the index looks like, and this is what it tells us. Right here, this tells us that the grantor, in other words, the person selling the land, was Joseph Elwell, and that he's selling it to Daniel Tracy. It also tells us the book and page that this deed is located on. In this case, it is book C, page 116. We want to remember that, or more likely write it down, so that we can then look it up directly. It also tells us when the deed was recorded, in this case December 22nd, in the year 1801, and that the location is LAC, which is short for Lower Always Creek. Since my Joseph Elwell lived in Lower Always Creek, I know that this is a good deed to look for. If I scroll down, I can see other deeds from him. Here's Joseph Elwell selling to Judah Foster in 1820 in Pittsgrove, and here's Joseph M. Elwell selling in Pittsgrove. Is that the same person? Maybe I do or do not know his middle name. I might know that that's the wrong person, or it might be a good clue that that might be the right person. You can see these are all names, first names that start with J-O. Besides Joseph, we have Joel, Jonathan, and Joshua, etc. And these last names are not, it includes Elwell, but it also includes other last names like Engel that are similar to them in the alphabet. But right now, all we want to pay attention to is this Joseph Elwell, who has a deed in Book C, page 116. We're now going to look up Book C, page 116 to see the deed that Joseph Elwell sold. Oh, by the way, where it says same underneath, that means that this deed underneath is also from Joseph Elwell, this Book E, page 247. And the third one is also same. So Book F, page 64, would all be other deeds sold by Joseph Elwell. Right now, we're going to go back to Book C, page 116. To do that, we're going to hit the back button to go back to our original table of contents. Okay, so we wanted Book C. That would be located in this reel right here, which is deed books B through D, and C would be about a third of the way through, since this reel has 3 books in it, B, C, and D. So we're going to go over here to the camera, and then we're going to look for Book C. Remember, since there are 3 books on this reel, we're not going to go to the first one. We're going to go about a third of the way through. Now there's about 800 pages. Let's try maybe 300 pages through and see if that gets us close. What we're looking for is the spine of a book so that we can find the beginning of Book C. As you can see, there's no spine here. I'm going to scroll up a little. We're just going to try to find, oh, and here we go. There is the beginning of Book C. If I double click on it, I can pull it up and see that that is indeed the Book C. Okay, we're on the right book, but now we want to find page 116. Let's go back to the thumbnails and find it this way this time. So remember, it's about 20 pages per row because there's 10 images, and if you double 10, that's 20. So here, this would be 10 images here, and then we have 20 more here, so that would be about 30 pages, add 20 more, that would be about 50 pages, add 20 more, we'd be at page 70, add 20 more, we'd be at page 90, add 20 more, we'd be at page 110. We want to go to 116, so let's go about 6 more pages and try around here. How well did we do? Let's see. We are on page 149. Ooh, not too well. So we're going to go back to the thumbnails. I might have skipped a row in there. We're at page 149. We've gone about 30 pages too long, so let's go somewhere over here. Let's see if this is any better. And now we're at 37. I think that I am scrolling as I do this. Something's messing up here. Let's go down a little bit more. Sometimes you can accidentally scroll while you're double clicking and skip a row or two, which is why I prefer using the entering in a number here. We're at page 95 now, so we're only about 20 away. Let's try clicking one row below and see if we're okay. Now we're getting close. We're at page 113 here, and we want to be at 116. So I'm going to hit just the arrow buttons to go another page over. And now I'm at page 114, 115, and another page over. And that takes me to page 116. And sure enough, here is Elwell name. And I can see Joseph Elwell of the County of Salem in the state of New Jersey, executor of his father-in-law, John Briggs, etc. And there's the deed that we were looking for. Okay, I have walked you through how to use the Salem County indexes. Now I want to show you how to use 3 other indexes because each of the counties has a different type of index for how to find the names. We're now going to go to Cumberland County. So first we're going to hit the back button again. This will take us back to our table of contents. But if you remember, these were all Salem County deeds. So we're going to go back another time right here where it says back to search results. We're going to go back again. And here were all the Salem County entries. Now, as you can see on the side, on the left here, it says refine your search. This gives us an option of changing what we were searching for. If you remember, we were searching for United States, comma, New Jersey, comma, Salem. We're now going to change Salem to Cumberland County. So I'm going to backspace from Salem and type in the word Cumberland. And it'll give me a result right here, and I'll click on that. And then scroll down here and hit update. This will now update our table of contents to all our Cumberland County deeds. Again, we're going to go to land and property. We're going to click on deeds. This time, instead of, and there are the results of all the books that are available. This time, instead of looking for Joseph Elwell, let's look for a Cumberland County name. We're going to look for Stephen Garrison. So here we're going to go to the grantor index, and we're going to look for the letter G, the first letter of his last name. It will be located in the E through G book, since that includes the letter G. We're then going to click on the camera image. Here's the binding for the first book. We're going to double click on it to see what the name of this book is. As you can see, this is the index to grantors E through F. We want G. So we're going to back up to the thumbnail image. We're going to go to the next book. There's about almost 600 600 images in this, and so we want to go about halfway through, which would be, let's say image number 300. Let's see if we're anywhere close. All right, we are in the middle of a book, but we can't see the binding of another book, so we're going to scroll up a little and look for the binding of book G. And as you can see, oh, nope, that's just some informational stuff, but still no binding. So we're going to scroll up a little bit more until we find the binding of another book. And till we get to the beginning of G. Guess it's a lot more pages than I thought. Because we're going to look for the Garrison surname, which would be, of course, in book G. All right, this is a lot of pages. It would be helpful if they just had little tabs to know how to get there, but they don't have little tabs, so we just have to do it the hard way. All right, what do we have here? Oh, I think we went right back to the beginning. Okay, that means that 300 was too far, so we need to go forward from 300. Zooming out again. And we were not done that first book. Oh, we just needed to scroll down. Okay, here we go. And this takes us to Index to Grantors, Book G. Okay, so we're going to go to the next page in this index. And inside the front cover, there is a chart. That is this image right here. We're going to scroll into that. Zoom in so that we can see it. We can also use this zoom button to make it larger. As you can see by this chart, there is a large letter G at the top left corner. This is the first letter of the surname. Now we are looking for Garrison. We now use the column on the left side to find the second letter of the surname, G-A, for Garrison. This part is familiar so far, right? We look for the G for the first letter of the surname, then we use the left column to find the second letter of the surname. However, Cumberland County is different than Salem County because now we're going to use the row at the top of the chart to find the third letter of the surname. This is not the first name. This is the third letter of the surname. So we have Garrison is spelled G-A-R. So we have G, then we go down here to find A, and then we go across here to find R. And that shows us the number 308. Now here's the other funny thing. This letter is not a page number. It is a number given to all the pages with that combination of letters. Okay? So all of the pages that have GAR are going to be on the 308 section of this book. So now we have to find that section. Now let me give you an example by going to the next page of this book. Remember, we're looking for 308. We go to the next page of this book. We are not on page 1. We're on number 278. That's because this is not a page number. This is a section number. We're looking for 308 and we're at 278. So let's skip ahead some 50 pages and see what it takes us to. 50 images, I mean. Here we're at 287. Again, remember this is not a page number. This is a section. So we're at section 287 and we want to go to 308. So we're not there yet. Let's try typing in, seeing what's at image number 400. Okay, now we're at 296. We're getting closer. Let's try 420 or 440. And we're at 305. Okay, we're definitely closer now. Let's try 450. We're now at section 308. Excellent. Okay, now if you notice here, there's a very small number 2 above that. Now that is a page number. So what's going on is this right here is the first page of the 308 section. So this is the beginning of the 308 section, which is everything with the Garrison name. Now, if you remember, we're looking for Stephen Garrison. The way Cumberland County organizes first names is by columns. So on the left, you can see there are 5 columns. That represents the first letter of the first name. So if we're looking for Stephen Garrison, he's going to be in this 5th column, which includes the letter S. If we go down that column, we can see Reuben, Rebecca. Note that women are also included in the deed indexes. We see Ruth, Susan, Rebecca, Reuben, Rebecca. Let's go on to the next page. Still looking for Stephen. Sorry, the image is taking a minute to load here. We have, oh, what's this name right here? Stephen. There is Stephen Garrison. Here it lists his first name and his last name. He's the grantor, the one selling the property, and he's selling to Kaiser and Gorgeous. And then it gives you the book and the page number. Lieber means book, so it's saying that it's in book, where'd my line go? Book 11, page 5. I think that's a 563. There we go. Page 563. And he sold the property on August 10th, 1807, and it was property in Millville. So now we could look that up if we wanted to. That's the way the Cumberland County Index works. As you can see, it's a completely different system. So you have to know the systems for each of the counties. We're now going to go back and try Burlington County. This time, let's look for Thomas Hancock. Hancock is not just a Salem County name, but also a Burlington County name. Again, we're going to go back a couple pages. And right here, we're going to refine our search by typing in Burlington. Okay, and then we're going to update it. And this will show us all of the Burlington County records. We're going to go to Land and Property. We're going to select Deeds. And this time we're looking for Thomas Hancock. So this will show us all the results for deeds. As you can see, there's grantee, there's grantor, and then there's a bunch of deed books. We're going to go to, let's just use the grantees here at the top, and we're going to look for Hancock. That's going to be in the H book. Okay, so we open the index for the first letter of the surname we're looking for. And then we're going to open the front cover. We can see that this is indeed the HA index book. So we're going to go to the next page. Now in the front cover is again a chart. We're going to use this chart to find the first 3 letters of the surname in the column on the left. Now notice that these are already grouped together. So we have H-A-N for the beginning of Hancock all listed together in this book already. So there's H-A-N. This is the first 3 letters of the surname. Then we use the row at the top to find the first letter of the first name. So we're looking for Thomas Hancock. So we're going to go over here and find the T's in this row and go down this column and find, this is the row for Hancock, so that gives us the number 1829. Again, this is not a page number, this is a section number, 1829. So we're going to go to the next page. We'll see that this is 1750, and we're trying to go to 1829. Let's just take a guess and go 50 pages, see how close we are. Okay, we're still quite away from 1829. Let's try 200 pages, see how close we are. I'm sorry, 200 images, and see how close we are. Okay, now we've gone too far, so we're going to back up a little. Let's try 180, image number 180. We're looking for 1829, that section. We're at 1853. We're going to back up a little bit more. Let's try 160. That brings us to 1834, getting closer. Back up even more to 140. And that brings us to 1819. We went 1829, so let's try 145. We're at 1823. And before. Oh, I'm sorry. These are actually pages, not okay. Well, I wrote this wrong in my chart. We're at 1825, 1826, and we want 18. No, it is a section 26. So we're still on 1826. And we're looking for 1829, 27, and 28. 1829 should be the next page, maybe. Okay, there we are. 1829, and we are at Hancock. So here we see Sarah Hancock, Samuel Hancock, Thomas Hancock. Again, we have Thomas Hancock is the grantee in this case. He's the one purchasing the property. He purchased it from the grantor Abraham Hewlings, and it is in book number A2. Different counties name their books different things, some combination of letters and numbers. This is a combination of the letter A and the number 2 is the book, and then the page is 119. So then we could look up that book and page to find the deed. The last one we're going to look at is the easiest one. This is Gloucester County, Camden County, and Atlantic County all use the same system. We're going to start with Gloucester County, or we're only going to use Gloucester County because the other two just use the same system. So again, going back a couple pages, we are back to refining our search. We're going to type in Gloucester this time and select it and update. This gives us all the results for Gloucester County resources. We're going to go to land and property. We're going to go to deeds. We're going to look up Isaac Burroughs this time. So we're going to go to grantee index. Burroughs will be under the letter B. This has A, B, several books in it. So let's see, you can see this one right here is A. We want to find book B. So we're going to scroll down a little bit till we get to book B. Just going to scroll this time instead of guessing. Okay, there's book B. We can open book B just to make sure we're in the right book. Oops, there it goes. Index to deeds, grantees, B for Gloucester County. We're going to go to the next page. At the front of this book is a chart. This chart right here. This chart right here shows, sorry about that. This chart right here is a very basic one. We're in the surname B. You find the first letter of the first name in the row of letters at the top of the chart. We're looking for I for Isaac Burroughs. That would be this row right here. We zoom in, we see it's page 164, and that's the page of the index. All we have to do is go to page 164. 164 would be about 80 pages, 80 images after where we're at. We're at 65. If we add 80 to that, that gives us 145. That'll be close to where we're looking for. Let's see how well we did. Not well at all. I think this book skips some images because if there's blank pages, sometimes they'll skip photographing them. So let's back up considerably and see what's on image 60. Oh, we backed up too far. All right, there's big. Okay, so there's B, and we want 64. Let's just, we're just going to guess and see what happens here. All right, 110. We're way too far, so let's jump over backwards a little. 76, still too far. Let's go over here, see what this is. 34, something in between there. Let's try this page. Oop, that's not the page we're looking for. I think it's skipped me ahead. And this page. All right, 41, we're just gonna go the slow way and click next till we get to 64. As you can see, the most tedious process, and that puts us at 74. Huh, this worked on the first time. Okay. I may have done something wrong here. Well, when I practiced this, it worked fine. So what did I do wrong here? I said, oh, 164. That's my problem. I'm sorry. We're looking for page 164. So let's go back this way and look for page 164, which is entirely different from page 64. And that would be my problem. We're at 190 here. I'm sorry about that. 164. There we go. And we can see that we have Isaac Burrow right there. Isaac Burrow selling property or buying property from James Batten right here in book Q, page 410, September 1812, etc. And then we could look up that book. Now, if you remember, as I stated, Gloucester, Camden, and Atlantic counties all use the same system. So you can use that same system for any of those counties. Now, one last thing I want to show you, this chart right here, which includes instructions for how to research each of these types of deeds, can be accessed on our Facebook page, Genealogical Society of Salem County. You can also contact us, the Genealogical Society, on our website, which is gsscnj.org. Our email address is genealogicalsocietysalemcounty@gmail.com. You can email us if you want a paper copy of that chart. This chart is also can also be downloaded from the website cchsnj.